journeys and advice. Hello, everyone, and good evening, and welcome to the Scientix STEM Alliance Future Classroom Lab and Cummins webinar, Inspiring STEM Careers, a Teacher's Toolkit to Empower Students' Ambition. My name is Luigi Prisco, and I work at European SchoolNet, and I have the pleasure to be your host today. First thing first, let's lay down some housekeeping rules. You can engage with the speaker by posting your question in the chat, and we will address them later on during the session. We'll be sharing valuable information and helpful links with you during the webinar, so keep an eye on the chat. And very important, don't forget to sign the signature list. We are sharing the link in the chat, and by signing the signature list, you'll confirm your participation in the webinar, and you will be eligible to receive a certificate of attendance that we will share later via email. Now, in this session, we'll explore how educators can bring real-world STEM careers into the classroom and inspire students to see themselves in this future path. You'll gain practical insights and ready-to-use strategies to spark ambition and interest in STEM careers among young students. You will hear from a dedicated teacher who plays a key role in shaping students' interest in STEM, as well as a STEM industry professional from Cummins who will share their personal journeys and advice. Together, they will present inspiring resources, classroom practices, and ways to engage with students with authentic STEM role models. And finally, at the end of towards the end of the webinar, we will do a Q&A session where we will address the question you can post in the chat. Now, this session, as I said, is all about STEM skills and career, and so let's give some context. In this slide, you can see examples of skills that will be very important in the future and jobs that are in demand today, which didn't even exist 20 years ago. This is to give you a concrete sense of how rapidly the world of work and skills is evolving. According to the European Commission, Europe is facing a growing shortage of STEM-skilled workers, which means that businesses are struggling to find the talent they need, and the situation isn't improving. What's the issue there? Well, Europe's education system are struggling to keep pace with the rapidly changing needs of the workforce. And too often, what students are taught in the classroom doesn't align with the skills the job landscape actually require. So there's a clear gap there, and it really needs an urgent reform. But the issue is also that technology is advancing at a quick pace, but interest in STEM careers is lagging behind. In fact, 1 in 5 students in Europe struggles with science and math, and almost half of the population lacks with basic digital skills. So for companies, this means that the pool of skilled workers is shrinking, and it's putting the future of European competitiveness at risk. So it's clear that we need to act quickly to bridge this gap. So what can we do about it? Well, it is important to make STEM education and STEM careers more attractive for students, especially in primary and secondary school where interest in STEM develops. And to do so, teachers should adapt suitable approaches on how to teach STEM, as well as to raise awareness about the importance of STEM for the students' future lives. So here's the big question. How can teachers get their students equipped with the 21st century skills and get them ready for the jobs of tomorrow? I'm not going to answer that question, but I leave it to our speakers. Before handing over to them, I just want to highlight the Scientix STEM repository of job profile. You can find this repository on scientix.org.eu, and also you can scan the QR code that you see here, and you will find hundreds of resources that will help you introducing STEM careers and fostering STEM skills in the classroom. Now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome our first speaker, Dr. Zeynep Bruce. Dr. Zeynep Bruce is the Senior Supplier Quality Director at Cummins, where she spearheads global initiative in supplier quality and digital transformation. With a robust foundation in engineering and quality systems, she drives innovation and operational excellence across complex the complex global supply chains. A passionate advocate for mentorship, she has benefited from guidance throughout her career, and now she actively gives back by mentoring others. Committed to advancing STEM education and talent development, Dr. Bruce supports outreach programs that inspire and empower the next generation of engineers and scientists. Zainab, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you so much, Luigi. Thank you, everyone, being with us. With my pleasure, I would like to also introduce my colleague, Nahian, and she's with us in the call. And we are doing the STEM Alliance, Scientix STEM Alliance partnership for our Cummins Ready program together. And she will be kindly partnering with me in this presentation. Nayan, a couple words you want to say about yourself before we move to the slides?
Yes, of course. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. It's a great pleasure to represent Cummins and work with Scientix, and it's a great partnership with Scientix. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hear all about what we've been up to and reflect on it with Zainab. So I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you so much, Nahian. We can go to the next slide together. The agenda we will introduce, talk a little bit about Cummins, and then we will talk about Cummins Ready, a little bit about myself, my background, and my journey, and then our partnership, our great partnership, Scientix STEM Alliance and Cummins partnership, and we'll dedicate some time at the end to a Q&A as well. We can go to the next slide, Nahian. So Cummins, we were founded in 1990 as Cummins Engine Company, a corporation in Columbus, Indiana, USA, and we were one of the first diesel engine manufacturers. In 2001, we changed our name to Cummins Inc. We are a global power leader that designs, manufactures, distributes, and services diesel and natural gas engines and powertrain-related components, like including filtration, after treatment, turbochargers, fuel systems, control systems, air handling system, transmissions, and we also do electric power generation system, batteries, and electrified power systems. So we do have a network of a dealership of 19,000 all over the world, Cummins dealers, and then they are certified. We also have 190 countries and territories that we are in. Around the world, we are 69, almost 70,000 global employees. And like I mentioned, we have 106 years of industrial leadership in the field. And we're very, very passionate about investing in research and development and technology. In 2004, we invested $1.4 billion in research and technology. We can go to the next, and empowering a more prosperous world is our mission. And we'll go to the next slide. Just like I mentioned, our mission, and we're very passionate about it, making people's lives better by powering a more prosperous world. Our vision is innovating for our customers to power their success. What is dear to our heart is our values, integrity, diversity, and inclusion. We're a very caring company. We thrive excellence, and we do this with teamwork all together. We have the Destination Zero mission and vision and drive in our journey. And brand promise is very important for us, in leadership culture, leaders at all levels. We are. Next slide, Nayan. So I'm briefly mentioning about the components, but we do have 5 operating segments, and we do have engine segment, we have a power system segment, components, distribution business, and I briefly mentioned about electrification, and then we have fuel cells and electrolyzers as well in the Accelera by Cummins vision. And we are committed to bringing our customers the right technology at the right time and in the right place altogether. Next slide. The application varies. You can see a bit of everything here. You can see how broad segment we have. So we do have like trucks. So you can see bus applications. You can see construction business. You can see we do have also marine. We have mining. We have power generation, power systems. And then electrolyzer business, I mentioned about it, agriculture. So you can see it widespread of diversify our product lines and our applications all over the world. Cummins Ready. So we mentioned briefly about it at the beginning in the agenda, and it's a global education strategy designed to address the worldwide learning crisis by advancing equitable, high-quality systemic education and lifelong learning opportunities. So it's really dear to our heart about giving back to our communities, and it's a very, very sustainable strategy. So it launched into 2024, but efforts are tremendously occurring in different projects we do have. But our mission and vision and drive is by 2030, having a goal of helping at least 1 million learners and workers get on a pathway to education and career success in our journey. And it's a worldwide and one of the things why Ready is we want to address the worldwide learning crisis. We're very passionate about this. Next slide. And who am I? So you see a little bit of my background, my life in pictures. Apologies, life in pictures. So you see my son. So I do have two sons. They're born in US. I live in UK, and my husband is Scottish. And I'm Turkish and British. So I'm born in Turkey. You'll see some pictures over there on the left-hand side about Istanbul. And then on the right-hand side, you are seeing my mother and my father, my uncle, my brother down, my husband on that. So I do sing as well. So it's my passion. My brother is a musician. So bit of everything. And I'm a photographer as well. I think that covers the most. Nahian. We can go to the next. That was life in pictures, but professionally, I am the supplier quality engineering leader in EMEA and APAC, and I'm also the global supplier quality 4.0 leader. One of my personal statements and dear to my heart, and is very much aligned with Cummins Ready vision and mission and drive, is inspiring people with optimism, passion to learn and improve. And I want to be a role model to my sons. I extensively use the LinkedIn profile, share there, spread all of these opportunities over there, personal and professional. And then also I did have the 2012 SE and AM Young Outstanding Engineer Award brought to company. I have a quality award. I've led actually internally leading inclusion for technical initiatives. So I've led that lift, we called it, in the engineering function, and I have done the Europe Develop Leader role before becoming a STEM ambassador, and now I am together partnering with Nahian, and we do have also our sponsors. We have Emily Johnson and Danet Howard as well in our partnership, and we are doing the Scientix the STEM Alliance championship and the partnership for Cummins Europe. I've done a lot of different roles in my career, 17 years with the company. I worked for Ford Motor Company before coming to Cummins. I do have a PhD in mechanical engineering, but I do also have civil engineering degree in bachelor's of science and master's as well. And I've diversified my journey, actually, engineering roles in in Cummins as starting engineering roles. Then I had Master Black Belt certification along the years of the professional journey, and then done marketing role as well. And last 6 years, I'm doing the role that I have described you in the supplier quality in the operational side. And you can see how Cummins enables this and partners and ensures aligns with your skill set and your journey and the drive. And 17 years I'm with the company, and I love every bit of the journey so far. Next slide, Nahia. One other thing interesting about us in Cummins is career mapping. You can see like a road, my journey, the things I described, and where I want to take myself to. It's very nice to have empowering our potential as well. And our leaders are very intentional in these journeys with us. So you can see where I am currently as the number 3, what I described to you all, and where I want to go. I want to become a global supplier quality leader or a plant manager. And then next, I want to do a global or BU quality leadership role. Then I want to do a little bit more on the manufacturing function, which will hopefully lend me to the global supply chain leader role. So these are just planning. These are intentional. And then we do enable some key attributes, learnings, development. So it just energizes me. And we do share this with big leaders as well and seek for their guidance and learnings very authentically and vulnerably. Next slide. And now our Cummins Ready and Scientix STEM Alliance. You can see that we have accomplished so much already in our journey. Within a year time, we're approaching our year time in that journey. So we're super excited and thankful to our partnership with Luigi and the team and their voice here. The most successful STEM discovery campaign ever we've done enabled it. You can see the activities there. So we have completed 2 career profiles published, and the third one is on its way. We got the approval. 3 newsletters published. Like I mentioned, we supported the 2025 STEM Discovery Campaign and Scientix Award. You can see some of your names there as well on the right-hand side, the winners of the Scientix Next Gen Shapers Award. So we were very, very intentional on that, and thanks so much for all the nominations and all the and also the winners here. So it's wonderful to be part of it. Part of our mission and vision and the drive together with Scientix and us Cummins, we committed to develop 3 job profiles highlighting career STEM professionals at Cummins. We supported that 2025 STEM Discovery Campaign and Scientix Award, and organizing a chat with experts. You see our colleague in the room in that award ceremony, and also on the left hand side you're seeing how we are reaching out the activities, educators, yourselves, your students, and the participants and the countries that we are reaching out through this journey. On the left hand side you are seeing that tremendous of activities, and we are part of it, and we're very excited to be part of it. And I'm the champion, and you meant my project manager, my colleague Nahian, as well at the start of this journey. And then the job profiles. You must have come across these. Sylvia, our plant manager, her job profile, and then myself as well, my job profile. And then we're in the process of another colleague that she's also in the process of Aran Zazu. Her job profile is also being approved, and you will be seeing that. She actually is in that Accelera by Business in Spain, locating, and she's the production supervisor. And you can see different roles and responsibilities and lovely colleagues that shared their journey. And the aim is to inspire the young generation and share with them what is possible, what can they do, and in their life journeys and professional journeys. So that's what we have shared. I think with that, we're ready for the Q&A. I don't know, Luigi, how would you like to do this with us? Do you want to take the questions now or at the end?
Thank you, Zainab. Yeah, we will address the question at the end after our second speaker. But thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you for introducing us to Cummins and Cummins Ready, its mission in education. Everything was very insightful, and we're also proud of the partnership that Scientix have with Cummins and what we have produced to support the educator. As you mentioned, the job profile that you can find, the teachers can find on the Scientix repository of job profile. We will also be sharing the link in the chat, and they are all there ready to use to bring into your teaching practices. To introduce young students to STEM careers using role models as Zeynep here. So thank you very much. And now we will move to our next speaker. So let me give the floor to Stuart Naismith. Stuart is a Scottish primary teacher and an award-winning STEM educator whose voluntary work has inspired learners in more than 20 countries. Since 2017, he has created over 500 free STEM education videos recognized by the Children's University, and his A to Z of STEM careers has reached more than 400 teachers worldwide. He has written for Empowering Women in STEM and the ASE Primary Science Journal and delivered CPD sessions internationally. His work, centered on inclusion and diversity, has earned the RIC Excellence in Primary Education Prize, the Prime Minister's Point of Light Award, and 2 Scientix Awards in 2025. So, Stuart, the floor is yours.
Hey, I don't really know how to follow that introduction, Luigi. Hopefully I don't fall short after such a great intro. Thank you all for having me here joining you today. It's a pleasure to present to you all about something that I'm very passionate about, which is about exposing the young people in our care to STEM careers. So I'm going to share a bit of insight about what I've done and developed on my own voluntarily, and then how I use different things in the classroom. So first of all, a wee bit about me. I am from Scotland, so it was nice to hear that Zeynep is married to a Scot. Hopefully the accent's not too thick for people to pick up what I'm saying, which is an issue I've had before doing some training things. So I am a primary teacher. I am a father of 3 who are running about somewhere in the house just now, so hopefully they don't come across on the feed as well. I'm a resource creator, as Luigi mentioned, the A to Z of STEM careers. I've also made World Space Week resource pack. I've made personalised videos, and I write blogs for the education resource company Twinkle to talk about different ways to do activities in the classroom. I'm a STEM communicator, and most of that STEM communication I do through my YouTube channel, STEM with Mr. N, which is where those videos are that Luigi was referring to that I've been making over the years, demonstrating mostly low-cost, easily resourced science activities to help educators in classrooms, but as well help home educators, and that's why they were recognised by the Children's University as a valuable home education resource. So when I was being assessed for the Primary Science Teacher Award, which is when this picture was taken, 2 scientists visited my classroom to do that assessment. And one of my pupils, a 7-year-old boy, when he went home, he said to his mum, "There were 2 scientists in my classroom today, and neither of them were men." And that might seem like just an innocent comment by a young person, but it's actually deeper than that. That his expectation was that scientists would be men, and he was amazed that not only was there 1 female out of the 2, but they were both female. And moments like that show why representation matters. And that's part of what I'm going to explore today. It's not just about the STEM careers, but it's also about looking at the representation of these and how we put this across to the learners that are in front of us. So in primary school, that's where children are starting to form their identities. And you see it even from primary one, once they're in and settled, their personalities start to develop more and their identity develops more as they're making friendships and they're exposed to more things. And this just continues throughout primary school and then into secondary school, this finding your identity. They're figuring out who they are and what's for them. So we have the power as educators, particularly primary educators, to normalise STEM. So not just promote it, but make what we demonstrate to the children what they perceive as the normal path in STEM. Research has shown that children as young as 6 begin to form gendered beliefs about intelligence and STEM, particularly with girls feeling that they are not as intelligent as boys are when it comes to particular STEM things. And there's factors that come into that, which I'm going to address a bit later on. Also at this age, children as young as 7 start ruling out careers that they think are not for them. Part of this is they're choosing careers based on things that they see round about them. So what family members do, what friends' family members do. So we have the opportunity as well to expose them to more careers to broaden these horizons. And if stereotypes in careers start so early, then so should the conversation about equality to try and combat that. So one of the ways I've gone about doing that was I created a PowerPoint of A to Z STEM careers, which has 2 careers for every letter of the alphabet. I've currently shared that with over 400 teachers around the world, spread across 23 countries. And this PowerPoint, it uses gender-neutral language and diverse images to avoid any stereotypes around what you expect to see for these jobs. The goal of me making this was to make diverse STEM careers visible and relatable to the children. And pupils start to realise that STEM careers aren't just about lab coats and test tubes. And we've had a lot of amazing conversations with the pupils. So this year, my remit in the school is delivering science to all the pupils from primary 1 to primary 7. So kindergarten to grade 6 in most other places. So I'm talking to them all about these careers. Every week I tell them the next letter of the alphabet, the 2 careers, and children are naturally curious. And we've been able to have brilliant discussions about what these different jobs involve, from a biomedical engineer and making prosthetic legs. Children have then had lots of questions about, well, what different things cause people to need prosthetic legs or need prosthetic arms? How do they develop these for the children? So they start to get an even deeper understanding from the brief overview I give them of the career. We then have deeper discussions, and children are learning then not just specifically about that one career, but all the different parts that come into it and the other links that are made to it. So not just what the biomedical engineer does, but the other people that they work with. On this slide, this is just an example of how it is laid out. So you'll see it's not, really intensive writing about what a marine biologist does or a meteorologist does. It's nice, short text, just to give that brief overview, which allows, as I was saying, children to have that opportunity to dig deeper into these jobs. But it's also exposing them to different language within science and the different job titles. So it's broadening those horizons. We're not expecting people to suddenly start all going for the STEM careers that I'm showing them on this. It is purely just broadening the horizons and making them aware of what's out there. And you see there the examples of the gender neutral language and gender neutrality in the pictures, as well as ethnicities. It's gone for, that broad spectrum of people, because STEM really is for everyone, and that's what we should be getting across. So that's one resource that I've been using, and one way that I've been introducing STEM careers to children. Another way is by introducing the children to professional voices within the classroom. So I show them short video clips. Now, I know Scientix have their short video clips. The only reason I haven't used those is because on my YouTube channel, I have a series of STEM career interviews where I've sat down with STEM professionals and spoken to them about their jobs and their journeys into STEM. And I use clips from these in the classrooms, again, to get children exposed to the jobs, to get them exposed to the different journeys people have, but also the different types of people that are working in STEM. And it comes round to that old saying that we'll probably all have heard, that you can't be what you can't see. So exposing children to these professionals gives them a chance to see themselves in a job that they then might fancy doing. But if there's not that representation, it's difficult for children to see the path for them. So my guests have included engineers, programmers, environmental scientists. The majority of the guests have been women, which is great, again, for getting that spread of genders out there and making it clear that there is a place for females in STEM. And pupils love to hear real stories about journeys and challenges. It's good to hear from their teachers about these careers, but there's something special when you hear about it from the actual person and their experiences. And it brings real voices into the classroom, and it actually turns subjects into futures. So children have a chance to see where they can go and where STEM can take them. There's an example of one of the people that I interviewed, which was the former NASA astronaut Nicole Stott, who was an engineer. And there is a QR code there in the corner, but I see the Cummins logo is, at least on my screen, over the corner of it. So you won't be able to scan that QR code, but all the STEM career interviews are on my YouTube channel. For that series of STEM career interviews, I was awarded with the Next Gen Shapers Award from Cummins, and that's how I find myself here presenting to you today to talk about the careers, and it's a real honour to receive that award from them, and a privilege to be able to be here and share this with you. So another way that I introduce careers is through my classroom activities, and I make sure and make these links to careers where it is relevant. So STEM challenges can be an excellent way to link concepts into real jobs. For example, one of the classes I was in a couple of weeks ago, they've been doing natural disasters. So I set them the job that they were to design and build a structure using mini marshmallows and the cocktail sticks. And it had to survive an earthquake on a shake table. And I linked this to the work of structural engineers, because that is what they have to do, is figure out how they're going to build a structure which is going to be stable even when it's not in an earthquake, but then add in that extra factor of it now also needs to survive an earthquake. So children understood that what they were doing in the classroom was actually relevant to a real life STEM career. Another one that I've done, which is very popular, is a parachute design challenge, and that is a direct link to aerospace engineering, where they're learning about things such as air resistance and drag, which comes into the aerospace engineering. So it's again making that relevance between a simple classroom activity and the careers that can use the skills that they are developing and the knowledge that they're developing. Small shifts in group work can also change who sees themselves as capable. So depending on the classroom and the class dynamics, sometimes I will actually set roles for tasks, and the next time a task is being done, we'll change the roles up. So it's not just always, boys that are wanting to try and take the lead. I make sure that different people have a chance to take the lead. I also try and be flexible with the groups. So there was once when I was doing the parachute challenge where there was a girl that her group were just ignoring. They weren't letting her do anything, and they were taking control. And she said to me, "Can I break off from them and just build my own parachute?" We only had 10 minutes of the challenge left, and I said to her, "Yes, you can, but you have to have it done in 10 minutes. That is the deadline." she ended up having the winning parachute because she was unhampered by other people trying to force their ideas on her, and she kept it really simple and went with what she knew. And the class actually then got to see her knowledge on display in front of all of them, and why she really shouldn't have been ignored. And again, that was a group of boys that were being quite domineering with her. And it showed that women do have a place in STEM, and girls do have a STEM brain on them as well, which, as we were saying earlier, sometimes at that age, they don't realise. There's just an example of a structure that I made on the shake table using the mini marshmallows and cocktail sticks. Another thing that's important is role models and representation. So I organise in my school annual STEM weeks, and what I do with these is I bring in diverse professionals. Again, the majority of them happen to be female. That's not something I have deliberately set out to do. It just so happens that we've ended up with a lot of female visitors over the years. But they come into the school, and this leads to a deeper connection with the pupils as they are seeing people from their own community being represented in front of them, and it's jobs that are then available round about them. They're not hearing from engineers who are facing issues in New Zealand, for example. They're hearing from engineers that are working, 20 minutes down the road from them. So it makes the STEM careers also relevant to what is around them in their country. And again, it's opening up that opportunity for role models and to see themselves in these different careers. And when diversity becomes normal, the stereotypes that people might be exposed to start to lose their power. For organising these inclusive STEM weeks, I also happen to be awarded this year the Scientix Providers Award. So I was doubly honoured this year by Scientix to end up picking up these two awards that are focusing on this diversity within promoting STEM careers. So when it comes to gender and STEM, we really do need to address the imbalance early, because, as I said, gender stereotypes start to form young and they can close doors really early. So ways that I tackle it, other than through the resources I've mentioned, there's some really simple ways to go about it. And one of these is just going with gender neutral language. So saying firefighter and engineer rather than fireman or policeman, or even specifically saying female engineer. It can also be quite tricky because with some jobs, we've probably grown up with stereotypes. So we might automatically refer to a computer programmer as he. So it's trying to make sure that we're using gender neutral language and try and refer to the job title and gender neutral terms, and try and not slip into the stereotypes that maybe we have grown up with. I'll admit that is tricky to get your head into at first because we've got a natural way of speaking. Certainly in English, it's a very common way to use gendered terms with the jobs, but trying to shift away from that and keep it gender neutral. Also use balanced visuals and stories. So like with my A to Z STEM careers, the visuals are balanced. We have a mix of males and females. I read stories to the pupils which have a mix of males and females in them, leading in STEM or exploring science concepts. And also having equal opportunities in STEM work. So changing the roles within a group, for example, to make sure that everyone has a turn to do different parts is a key way that you can tackle that, to have the equal opportunities. The everyday messages that we put across as educators matter. They matter in school. They also matter at home. We have the power as well to be mentors. So that can be mentors to our pupils, but it can also be mentors to other teachers. There's a picture of me with my STEM mentor, an amazing woman called Dr. Margaret Ritchie. She was my university lecturer when I was training to become a teacher. I have no background in STEM, but she encouraged me to pursue this in my primary practice. And she wanted to prove that anyone could lead in STEM. So she always said I was her project. With no STEM background, if I could lead in STEM and be successful, then she felt that she'd achieved her role as my mentor. and she did do that. Unfortunately, a couple of years ago, we lost Margaret Ritchie very unexpectedly. So I always make sure and pay respect to her, because without her, I would not be doing the STEM work that I've been doing or achieved what I've achieved. So that shows the power of mentors. That female mentors also boost confidence and persistence within STEM, as research by Dennehy and Disgupta from 2017 showed. So if you're a female teacher, all teachers have the ability to be mentors and great mentors, but female teachers as mentors for people within STEM, you're going to help boost that confidence and persistence with the girls that are in your care and the female teachers that you work with. Mentorship is amazing because it creates ripples, and these reach far beyond one mentee. So Margaret was my mentor, but her ripple is now reaching all of you that are watching this session, either live or the recording. So best practice and some quick wins for teachers. Use inclusive language. Scientist, not lady scientist. Don't draw attention to the lady part, because we're trying to make it normal that scientists can be male or female. Embed role models naturally. Showcase local STEM professionals if you can get them into your school or get visits out to where they work. Build equality into teamwork, that thing about making sure everybody's got their role and everyone's listened to. And try and connect learning to careers as regularly as you can, because representation isn't just an extra, it's how we actually build belonging for our pupils. Media and family messages also shape perceptions. Only about 1 in 3 STEM characters on screen are female, according to the Gina Davis Institute from 2018. And this ties into what I was saying about the stereotypical language that we use based on the careers that we have seen and been exposed to. If that's in the media, that's what children are seeing. So we have a chance to combat that in our classrooms. Parents, libraries, and museums also all play a role. And it's not about pushing girls down a path, but it's about clearing the shrubbery so that they can see the route for themselves. We don't want to force them into anything, but we need to make them aware that there is a place for them if they want to pursue it. That's what they're seeing beyond the classroom. So we need to try and make sure that in our classroom, it's inclusive and we're able to share this, share the STEM careers and share these experiences with them. So my closing messages for you to think about: every word we use, every example we share is either reinforcing the limits of the past or it's opening the doors to the possibilities of the future. When classrooms, media, mentors, and communities all work together to make STEM visible and inclusive, children don't wonder if they belong. They simply know that they belong. And that's me at the end of my session. Thank you for listening to me. That QR code goes to my YouTube channel, and there's my email address. Feel free to take a note and reach out and connect. And if you want that A to Z STEM Careers PowerPoint to use in your school, send me an email, say that that's what you would like, and I will send you over a link to it.
Thank you very much, Stuart. We have also shared your YouTube channel link in the chat for the viewers to go and check it out. Yeah, and thank you very much for your precious advice and sharing your best practice and experience. I'm pretty sure all the teachers and educators watching this webinar will leave enriched with yeah, and they will apply what they learned here today immediately in their classroom starting tomorrow. So now we will move through the Q&A part of the webinar. So we have collected some questions, both for you and for Zeynep. So I would like to start for a question actually with Zeynep, with a question for Zeynep, which specifically is asking, let's say, from for insights from coming from inside a company like Cummins, a STEM company like Cummins, and so what skill or mindset that's Cummins look for in future STEM professional, and how can teachers help students start developing those at a school level? And these are very specific questions, but it also speaks to teachers that wants to give a direct advice to prepare someone to apply even for a company like Cummins.
Wonderful question. Thank you so much for the question. Actually, I did touch base those in my job profile. I do recall and remember, what can we do differently for our students and what is expected of parents and the teachers and all. I think the curiosity is very, very important. Keep that curiosity high and also opportunity for hands-on. So if you think about the company we're coming from, the diesel engine company, and also those different innovations and technologies, investments, electrifications, and others. AI is on this path as well. We are utilizing AI in our ways of doing work. I will definitely say that keep the curiosity high, keep the projects aligned with the technology and the changes, and watch the young generation and allow them to have a little bit more hands-on experiences. That will be something that I will definitely recommend to prepare them better into the STEM type of roles in careers.
Thank you, Zainab. And kind of following up on that, we have discussed it a little bit, but to dive even deeper in this question is for both of you. So based on your experience as a teacher and as a STEM professional, like, what is the biggest misconception that students have about STEM and STEM education and STEM careers, and how do you think we can overcome these misconceptions that maybe hold back students at an early age to pursue and follow these pathways? Zainab, you can start. And
okay, I'll give an example, actually very tangible. So I live in UK. And I do also support the STEM UK learning journey and the drive. And there we do have some projects we do it in primary schools. And I'm a STEM ambassador. And whenever I go to these classrooms and it's about electric car build, they get puzzled seeing a woman engineer. And they just say, okay, how come? What? Why? You can see those like, and these are different schools, different levels of poverty, let's say it that way. Like, it doesn't mean that, one school is better than the other. It's always the same curiosity, and the kids looking at you. Are you sure you're an engineer woman and all that? I think that is something that I can reflect on, and I think we can show them that. And actually, I have been very fortunate as a child. My parents were very intentional in my own career journey, my life journey as well. Anything can be possible, anything anyone can do. I think we just need to help these students, young generation. It's possible, it is doable. Not one gender or style can do one type of role, right? I think we just need to encourage them and to demonstrate those possibilities, and maybe opportunities as such, classroom, bringing careers or job profiles. They can, teachers can definitely go and watch and then endorse these and share the possibilities with the young students. Will be just comes to my mind about maneuvering some of the barriers. It's the barriers in the mind, I think. Yeah. Thank you. Stuart?
Yep, I would completely agree there with what Zainab said. I mean, obviously that was the large focus of my presentation. There was about children's gender perceptions about things, and as Zainab said, seeing an engineer and wondering why is the engineer female. The other thing I would add to that then, so I'm not repeating myself, is when I've spoken to children about what they want to do for a job. So this year I started off with classes saying to them, who would like to work in a STEM career, and looked at a show of hands. And then I went round them individually and asked what they want to do when they grow up. And more of them actually named a STEM career than said they wanted to work in STEM. And that was because they weren't aware that some of the careers that they actually want to do are STEM careers. So there's also that lack of awareness what constitutes a STEM career. So I think one of the examples was somebody said they wanted to be a dentist, and they didn't actually realise all the science that goes into being a dentist. They weren't making that connection. So again, that's where the job profiles and hearing from STEM professionals and getting people into the school can make a difference, make them aware of how diverse STEM really is.
Thank you, both of you. Yeah, and this actually also goes back to what I was mentioning before on how sometimes STEM careers, they are detached from, STEM education is detached from the reality of STEM careers, and students learn math and science in very abstract ways, but they cannot see themselves in the future actually working in those fields. So thank you very much. Another question. So we talked about mentorship and the importance of having a role model that inspires you. And what about also the role of the parents in this picture? Because we talked about colleagues or the teachers and this type of mentors, but what about what happens at home once the students go back from school?
Is it to Stuart you asked it, Luigi, or both?
It's to both of you.
Okay. Stuart, do you want to go first and I go next as the parent as well? Sharing
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, certainly. So that is where it becomes tricky. You obviously can't control what children are exposed to at home. What my school are doing this year is they're inviting the parents in for STEM information sessions, which I'll be delivering to them in 2 weeks' time. So I'll be doing 2 of those, one for the lower school and one for the upper school, to get the parents on board as well with what STEM is, what it involves, how it can affect the future for their children, and giving them some ideas of simple experiments that they can do at home with things they'll have lying around the house to try and get parents on board. I'm also doing the same for a local museum where they're getting parents from the community in under a session titled How to Talk to Your Children About Science. And again, that's to try and demystify STEM. That it was the museum are doing it because it was brought to their attention that parents are being asked by their children questions where science is the answer. The parents aren't sure how to answer it because they don't really know themselves. So they say things like, oh, it's magic, or that's just how it is. So engaging parents in ways to get them on board and demystify STEM for them. Like, I wasn't aware of STEM as an acronym when I grew up. So it would be very easy for a parent now to not understand exactly what is meant by STEM and what it involves. So finding ways to engage them, getting them into the school for information sessions, or getting other people in the community involved in different ways, just to try and build these bridges so that you're not having to compete against parents at home that are not deliberately being ignorant, but are just unaware because there wasn't the same awareness around it when we were young.
And I will add to Stuart as a parent. So I have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. So one is in primary school and one is in secondary, and different, exposures to STEM, to be honest. But the key thing is, the kids are the curiosity is very important, and the parent needs to partner with the teacher and finds a way, just like Stuart mentioned it, maybe bring them to the classrooms and show them, or maybe some projects send out to partner with their kids, because I do that with my kids as well. There are some homeworks they're bringing home, and I do sit down and help them, support them, not do that project for them, but with them, support them. It's all about that curiosity, and then the awareness, bringing that awareness. So I'm myself an engineer, I'm a curious person, so it is possibly that kind of default in my style. But what about other parents, right? That's so important to partner with the teachers in the journey. They play critical roles, parents and teachers, for a kid's life journey.
Thank you very much. We have the last question. This is for you, Stuart, and this is very specific to your, let's say, side job as a YouTuber or as a divulgator, on your channel. So, what advice would you give to a teacher who would like to start inspiring other peers and students, and maybe start a YouTube channel talking about what they teach and what they love?
My advice would be, don't wait around for the perfect opportunity. Just start. When I started making my videos, it was the first COVID lockdown in the UK, and my job at that time was teaching science to the whole school. I started making the videos out of a necessity to educate the children. I didn't expect that 5 years later I would still be doing it, that I would have won awards for it, that I'd be presenting to all of you. Certainly COVID wasn't the perfect opportunity to do it. I filmed my first video with, I happened to have a GoPro, I had my mobile phone, I had no knowledge of video editing, but I just went ahead and did it. Over time, I've got much better, I've improved my equipment, I've invested in it. But if I'd never started at that point, I probably wouldn't have started if I was waiting for the perfect opportunity. And it's never too late to try and inspire others, even those round about you, even if you're not making videos, but go and share with people. A brilliant quote that I read in a book during the summer was that a candle's flame doesn't get diminished by lighting another candle. And if you've got that knowledge and experience, and sometimes in primary teaching it can be quite competitive and you don't want other people to take a bit of the shine away from what you've done, but ultimately we're there for the benefit of the children in front of us. So it doesn't diminish your experiences by helping others. So if you want to be a role model to other people, just speak to them, share your experiences, tell them what they've done, give them ideas that you're using in your classroom. And if you want to make videos, then, if you've got a mobile phone, which I'm sure everybody will do, you can start making videos. Figure it out as you go along, but just get started, and then you'll find what works for you and what you're passionate about and how you want to share it. And you might make some false starts and you might have videos that don't get many views, but ultimately you just need to, like we're saying with that ripple effect, if one of my videos inspires one of you, who then goes and inspires your class, well, I've now reached 31 people, the teacher and the class in front of them, through that one view. So don't worry about metrics, analytics. If you're passionate, grab what you've got, just get started, and you never know what's going to happen. Like I said, I never thought I would be here. I got invited to Buckingham Palace earlier this year for all the work I've done. I wouldn't have told you that was going to happen 5 years ago. So don't wait around. The time's now.
Brilliant. Let's hope then some other teachers and educators watching us will follow your lead and start. I saw a comment mentioning a TikTok account or Instagram, YouTube, anything. Okay, so thank you very much, both of you. Before we say goodbye, I just like to take a moment to tell our viewers about something exciting coming up, which is the STEM Discovery Campaign 2026 and the next edition of the Scientix Award. The STEM Discovery Campaign is an annual international initiative organized by Scientix that brings together teachers and educators and many other stakeholders to celebrate STEM careers and studies around the world. What does that actually mean for you? Well, it's your chance to share the amazing STEM activities you've been doing, showcase your education, and inspire others to follow your lead. To make the participation even easier, we have developed an app that lets you join with just one click. So it's available on every store, and you can download it even just scanning the QR code here. And when you participate to the STEM Discovery Campaign, you share with us your projects, your classroom activities, anything STEM related that you do with your students. You, as Stuart was mentioning before, you could be recognized through the Scientix Awards, and this would give you the opportunity to come to Brussels and take part in a workshop that UN and Scientix organize in the Future Classroom Lab. So get ready, mark the 1st of February on your calendars, and keep an eye on Scientix for updates and take part in the next STEM Discovery Campaign. So with this, I thank you, our fantastic guest speakers today, and thank to all of the viewers and attendees watching us. It was a pleasure being your host, and many thanks for all your contribution, and goodbye and have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here with you both. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you've all enjoyed the session.